Dane County Farmers Market opened for the first time in 1972 with just 5 farmers selling their Wisconsin-grown produce. Nearly 50 years later, one of America's largest producers-only market boasts 275 members and sees at least 20,000 visitors on any given Saturday. Market regular chef Tory Miller and I decided to see if we could hack it, helping both Harmony Valley Farm and Gitto Farm and Kitchen set up their delicious food to sell.
The server says they can't make it to the table with it standing up, chef.
And what do you say? Make it happen.
Make it work.
How long does it take you guys to do this?
Full hour, sometimes a little bit more.
Sure.
This time of year we have a lot of veg to get on the table and then figure out where we're going to put all the back stock.
What time did you start back at the ranch?
Usually starts the truck around 2 o'clock. We pull out between 2:15 and 2:30.
Wow.
The truck is fully loaded the night before.
Got it.
Harmony Valley Farm sits on nutrient-rich soil 100 miles from downtown Madison. Started in 1984 by Richard DeWild, Andrea is a co-owner after initially joining the farm as a seasonal farm chef.
You get the tomato belt.
Ooh, nice. Be smarter than the belt. Who wants free stuff? Just kidding, just kidding.
Welcome to Harmony Valley.
This is his first day.
Yes.
They've been shopping Harmony Valley Farm for many years.
So we're just getting started. This
We're
is going to
just
be a
getting
good sale.
started.
Do I
Oh,
get a
yeah.
commission on this?
No.
Okay.
Sometimes we say, Tory, try that.
Purple bean.
Do we ever say, David, try that?
Yeah, we do.
They are sweet.
Wonderful.
Isn't that interesting?
It's
Who
incredible.
would think that a green bean is sweet? Which is the only reason I even considered growing it, because I think it's silly that a purple bean turns green when you cook it. But these you can use raw. Yeah.
Gentlemen,
Welcome.
What's the difference between these 4 different eggplants?
just variety-wise, I mean, I think like for these, like I always stir fry these with like, chili and soy sauce and stuff like that. Like Japanese style eggplants, super good. Oyster sauce would be really good, ginger garlic. These ones are more like the workhorse, like baking, slow cooking, like really creamy, delicious. These are more white fleshed on the inside, I think. To me, it's like pretty similar, but a little bit more mellow than this one.
Well played, Tori. I would like to chime in. They look different.
And they look different.
Obviously, they do look different.
Do you have something in mind that you're...
Gonna make an eggplant lasagna.
This is a really dense eggplant that holds up really well and things like that. So you could go with any of these 3, or you could do one of each.
Every Saturday, if you stumble out of bed early enough, you'll see Tory walking counterclockwise around the farmers market, picking up ingredients for his restaurants L'Etoile, Gray's, and Estrellon.
Coming here and meeting the farmers and talking to them directly, like that's really what drew me in. My first year here, which was like in 2003.
Crazy.
And been coming ever since, like after that first one, getting to know people and what they grow, like how they grow it, where they grow it. As a chef, like you always go out and you're like, oh, I just want the best food. Like that's why I came out here. I'm like, oh, I just want the best food because I want to make the best food. But then like once you hear the stories from the people, and I mean, to be honest, sometimes I buy janky food just because I like the people that are growing it. And it's not like we say like, oh, this isn't as good or that's not as good as this. We don't compare in that way, but we definitely have our favorites. People's stories and their like, whatever they're going through that season, we're just like, man, like let's just support these guys.
Gitto Farm and Kitchen is a family-owned farm run by Greg and his wife Carol. Like most producers we encountered at the market, Tory already knew the Gittos.
About eye level? Do you like my eye level? Or?
And I
regular
like it
folks.
like facing there. Yep.
Okay.
Greg started farming after quitting his electrician career and purchasing a dairy. A few years in, after working 2 days a week for Richard at Harmony Valley, the Gittos added 5 acres of vegetables.
So produce is very labor intensive, and we had 10 kids, and they wanted something to do, and they did great. They worked hard. But as they grew older, I'm having a hard time finding help. Plus, there's so many more people growing the vegetables. And there's nobody around here that has certified organic flour tortillas.
I
don't know
don't
how you
usually
like
put that many out
Yeah,
at once.
I don't know how many. I like the number
Right.
5, so I always put 5. Only odd
Always.
numbers.
Always put 5.
Do you like 3? 2?
I want to go with
5 is
what you
good.
like.
5 is good.
We'll do 3. I don't want to make Carol uncomfortable.
You're making waves, Tori.
Yeah. I don't want to ruin Carol's vision. Did you want to put a liver sausage out?
I can make room for a liver sausage.
You know already that liver sausage isn't gonna sell itself. So especially if it's in the cooler. I love it.
I love it too, yeah.
Yeah. It kind of,
It's a love it or hate it thing.
yeah.
What kind of steers are you raising?
Jersey.
Jersey.
Yes.
It's still on grass, you can tell, huh?
Yes.
You got that yellow fat.
You can tell that from the.
Yeah, when the fat's yellow, you know it's on the grass. That's why sometimes people are like, oh, it's all grass fed, and it's like white, like totally marbled. You're like, no, it's not. You're lying.
The dairy was our dairy farm. Yep. And as time went on, we had Jerseys, and Jerseys is one of the best meat animals of the dairy breed. We just started with ground beef. And it was lean ground beef. I had one complaint from a friend of mine. You need to put more fat in your meat because I burnt it.
You need to learn how to cook.
You gotta cook it.
A lot of people like that.
So it's a different skill set.
It's definitely a different skill set because if you throw a grass-fed steak on and you cook it the way you would a corn, it's not going to turn out the same. There's a knack to it.
Finesse it a little bit.
You do.
He's putting the pressure on for later.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I don't know.
I don't think I need to tell you how to cook anything.
You forgot to finesse it.
I didn't.
Before Tory can think about properly cooking his steak, the pressure is on us to sell.
Shredded beef already done for you. Grass-fed beef products, so. One of the liver sausage, you got it, sir. It's $8, sir.
Despite the controversial nature of liver sausage, we did manage to find one buyer.
He's the money man. I just get the stuff for you. I haven't earned the bag yet.
You want the apron?
All too much official work then.
The variety at the market can be overwhelming, but there was never a better shopping partner than Tory, who pretty much knows, well, everyone.
How are ya? Let's go, man. Good to see you. See you later, bud. I don't know what the advantages are.
The market opens up opportunities for smaller producers to catch the eye of distributors in the Madison area, making local produce even more accessible.
This looks like we're going to be able to make a good dinner. I'm mostly all about condiments and sauce. So we'll see. You want shuck corn?
Sure.
This one's going to be a little weird. I'm not going to lie.
This whole dinner, you got a weird one on the docket?
Yeah, kind of.
Nice.
But yeah, because like all the dishes are like kind of different in background, but they all have one thing in common, which is chilies.
What can I do to help?
Oh,
Shuck
funny
corn.
you should ask. Could you please grate some cheese for me?
Sure. Do you want it in this bowl?
Sure.
What else is for the quesadilla?
Cheese, sweet corn, squash flowers, and salsa crudo. These tomatillos are actually really like sweet tarts from Harmony Valley.
Yeah.
And they're really, really great flavor. So I'm just gonna, I don't want to roast
You
them.
want to feature it.
That's like my thing lately is like I want to like showcase the ingredients, but it like not in like a douchey way, but like, but it always ends up being like,
Oh, this is really douchey.
yeah, it's extra douchey.
We're making a weird meal tonight.
That is true.
And it's my understanding you've got some experience and some weird farming in your blood.
I do have weird farming in my background. I grew up on a farm in Racine, and we had like 55 acres. Most of it was hay that we would bale and then sell like bales of hay to people around our kind of neighborhood. Like a lot of people would come and buy hay from us, and then we would have like a couple of chickens. But like we never thought about it like, oh yeah, we're out here farming in the field.
I mean, haying's quite a bit of work.
Worst job I've ever had is baling hay, I can tell you that. As a chef, like I have no desire to be a farmer or a butcher. I know how much hard work it is.
It's such an incredible amount of hard work.
Farming is hard work, and farmers that also sell directly to consumers are actually more likely to remain in business than those who only sell food conventionally.
I think that there's definitely a really strong growing desire to be connected to your food producer. It's not people that are necessarily coming with their shopping list and they're going to just buy, these 10 things. They're folks that are looking around and appreciating like what's in season and what looks amazing, and then going home with that.
Do you think there are misconceptions about who does shop at the market?
There's a reputation that it's just for tourists or that it's just for Madison foodies.
Sure.
And it's absolutely a place that, you know, families come and do their weekly grocery shopping.
Well, and you guys have programs in place that make it accessible.
Certainly we have the EBT and the SNAP program that enables folks to use their food stamps. And then the Double Dollars program is all supported by local funders. It's a phenomenal way to make sure that we're getting really good, healthy local food in, you know, the people who need it the most.
Double Dollars is a matching program where EBT users get matched dollar for dollar up to $25 per market day, removing another barrier to a healthy local food economy. Tory's spiced up main course features in-season tomatoes and Gitto's grass-fed steak cuts.
Cooking outside, you gotta play the wind.
A whole lot of fish sauce here and quite a few chili peppers there. Tory's love of big flavors hits the taste buds and makes for a beautiful aromatic meal.
Yeah, that's not that spicy.
Good.
Did you eat a pepper or just a tomato?
It's spicy. It's pretty hot. This is a sunjewel or a Korean melon that I'm gonna do with this white cucumber. Maybe some jalapeno, dill. Still undecided on lemon or sherry vinegar. And then some of that nice clover honey that we got. Squash blossoms in like quesadilla form is maybe one of my favorite summertime foods. Seasonal eating to me, like in Wisconsin, doesn't mean until a farmer that we know has it.
Absolutely.
And then
So you can hold it in your hand. Yeah.
right, and then like once that happens, and I'm like, oh yeah, squash blossoms, I love quesadillas, I'm gonna make that, and I maybe haven't had them or thought about them for 9 months, you know.
Middle of March maybe, I start like having dreams about ramps every night. They're just like in my dreams. Like, when are they gonna come?
Legit.
Sun jewel melon and cucumber salad, spelt quesadillas, steaks, and natural unfiltered wine. Andrea, Carol, and Greg join us for a fully sourced farmers market dinner.
To our awesome farmers market.
To the awesome farmers market, to our awesome chefs.
Awesome farmers.
Cheers from a distance.
I'm so used to like hitting the table and putting her down, but
The flavors here are so fresh.
These sun gold tomatoes are just like little flavor bombs.
when I heard, Andrea, that you were bringing the sun jewels, I was like, I knew I wanted to do some kind of salad.
I've never had the sun jewels in a savory preparation, like to have it with the feta and the onion is really interesting.
And the lemon is like a super fantastic combo.
That's the beauty of having fresh food is you don't have to do a lot to it because the flavor is there. It hasn't died over the course of its travels across the country. You can really taste what food is supposed to taste like the actual flavor comes out.
I hate the phrase farm fresh. Like that's just a ridiculous thing to say, you know, but like it really is. You know, when you go out to market and it's like literally like picked when it's ready to be eaten and not picked when it's ready to be shipped. I think it totally makes a difference in your flavor.
Do you find that most of your customers understand that you are the person, like literally, that is growing, making, etc.?
I think the large majority of people don't realize. You know, sometimes when you tell your story over and over, you think, okay, everybody knows this. They've heard it before because I've said it how many thousands of times. But you have to keep telling the story because there's always new people coming in who need to know and want to know.
I find a blend of that all the time. You know, the regulars and people that have never, you know, don't know our tortillas from anything. So you get to, you know, tell the story a lot.
You're not just in a factory environment where you're just there to ship out product. You build relationships with people and those relationships come. And I'm not at the market as much as my wife, but she's there all the time. She knows all these people by name.
Selling at the farmer's market is more meaningful than some blind sale where I don't see the end user. We have a lot of regular customers that come by every single week and they're stocking up for their meals for the whole week.
Like, how is this still the dialogue? Buy local, restaurants, chefs, get out there.
Yeah.
Support local farmers. You know, like in the New York Times this week, there was the front page thing was like a lady butcher holding a piece of beef, and it was all about how she was a vegetarian turned butcher. And she was like, well, I wanted to start butchering so that I could help change the industry of factory farming. So I only support small local farms. I only, do whole animal butchery. I only sell in large, when I'm gone, when it's out, like I don't specialize in just steak cuts and stuff. And I'm like, that's super rad that's a thing. But it's also kind of crazy that, like, after all this time, this is how far we've gotten.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's
Removed from our food supply.
right. It's very cyclical of all of a sudden, again, we're talking about supporting small family farms, like to save the environment now, or like for us, like it's so ingrained in like what we do, just in general in Madison, but especially like in our restaurant, that like it's almost it's more foreign to do it the other way, to me. So then when you like hear about people, kind of not buying local tomatoes right now, or not buying like local corn right now, or not buying local cheese. If you are a chef in Wisconsin and you have no Wisconsin cheese, I will freak out on you. It's one of those things where like we have to keep, like you said, you keep fighting the fight, and hopefully more and more it does become the norm. And so we aren't always in the struggle.
I mean, it goes back to that story. It's the story of the people. It's the story of the food. Why is a sun gold tomato any different than a red grape tomato? It gets them starting to recognize things and ask questions.
Personally, like it's my philosophy, like I don't serve people food and not give them dessert, or something sweet before we're done. Otherwise, I don't know when I'm done eating.